Hello. I want to say something this week about the quiet authority, the gentleness, and the beauty of our new King, Jesus Christ, born at Christmas, celebrated in his showing to the nations in his glory in the Feast of the Epiphany. But to continue that understanding, I'm going to talk about something very different from the news over the last few weeks. We've been told, haven't we, in fairly strident language, there is nowhere in the world where our might cannot reach and where it cannot prevail. I'll leave you to work out who's talking. And then again, a little later, in a news bulletin, and again quite loudly, there's a list of countries who better watch their backs, or other parts of their anatomy I won't go into. And when I'd heard those things, I was really quite upset and quite angry. And strangely enough, I went to look at what I was going to preach on for the baptism of Jesus last week. And one of the set readings was from Isaiah, a beautiful reading, and I'll read you a little bit. The gentleness is in such contrast. Here is my servant, says the Lord, whom I uphold, my chosen in whom my soul delights. I have put my spirit upon him. He will bring forth justice to the nations. He will not cry out, or lift up his voice, or make it heard in the street. Who is this servant of whom the Lord speaks in the book Isaiah? Probably intended to be Israel, as it was emerging as a distinct people, blessed by God, of course, if you remember the story to Abraham. Or, if not that, in its entirety, a faithful remnant of Israel, especially after the exile, coming back, remaining true to the covenant by the grace of God. Or thirdly, and this is what many Christians believe, although not to the exclusion of the other interpretations, Jesus himself. A bruised reed he will not break, and he will not quench a smouldering flax. What's come home to me as I've thought about those phrases more and more is that there is sensitivity, but not weakness. Apparent weakness, but strength is what will unsettle the certainty of might is right. Only the worthwhile thing to do in life is to get as much as possible. You get things, you get hold of them, and they have a strange way of vanishing. And that's true no matter what scale you're thinking about. The servant's strength is made perfect in weakness. It's very different from what the world counts as strength. The servant is to give himself to sustain the weary, and he isn't attractive to look upon. Another of the poems in Isaiah about this servant. He had nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by others, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And so, in a sense, we finish full circle, back with what was proclaimed about Jesus and became so evident in his earthly life and ministry, and is still true for us today. Things that happen in our world, have happened and probably will happen, are wrong. And I think that needs to be said. But the crucial thing to remember is that we're all in this together. We are all needy for the daily mercy of God. We say at evening prayer in the season for the Epiphany, Jesus Christ is the light of the world, a light no darkness can quench. Let's move forward in joyful certainty of that, whilst being very diligent in our prayer and indeed in care for others. Thank you.